It begins like any other night. A gathering. A pause. The outside world slowly fading away. But then the map is laid, the scene is set, and the story awakens. It starts in a tavern. Old friends, new quests. A world not our own, yet somehow more real than the one we left behind. This is where time slows down, and where laughter carries weight. Every choice echoes beyond the table. And there, at the heart of it all, the one who shapes the storm, the voice of the gods, the mind of the myth. This is their throne, their sanctum, where worlds are made and fates forged. One table, endless stories. Every map, a memory. Every campaign, a new universe waiting to rise. This isn't just where you play. It's where you return, again and again. Because here the story never ends. And when the journey ends, you return. But you're never quite the same. The story lives on, in your friends, in their memories, and in the place you brought them to life. For those who dare to craft worlds, only the finest forge will do. Trusted by thousands of adventurers, the official table of storytelling. Gather your party, set the scene, risk, adventure. The table of adventure awaits.
So usually I'm the one getting interviewed, but today we have a special treat. I am here with Kara Kenna, Senior Creative Lead for Dungeons and Dragons, and we are talking about how the Table of Adventure really came out to be. So Kara, do you want to introduce yourself real quick in the realm of the D&D world?
Yeah, hi, I'm Kara, and I get to work with amazing licensing partners like George and Game Theory Table. Our whole goal is to make really great collaborations that help fans experience D&D everywhere that they want to play.
Now, we're unveiling the Table of Adventure this weekend at Gen Con, and that sort of makes me think back to 2 years ago when we were just thinking about this and we were approached by D&D. What were some of the internal conversations before you guys even approached us about a D&D table? Like, why?
No, I mean, we didn't have any kind of gaming table partnership, and that was something that we really wanted to have for our fans. We wanted to find a partner that did really high quality tables, but had a lot of customization that would really work for all of our players. We know that part of D&D is creating your own adventure, your own experience, exactly how you want it to be. And we wanted to find a partner who could create a table like that. And we also know that not everybody wants to have a super branded gaming table in their house all the time. So having something that we knew would look sleek and cool and just kind of fit into your home really well.
Well, I mean, it makes total sense. Every campaign is on a table, right? So there's so many options to choose from, furniture companies, other board game companies. How did Game Theory sort of you guys end up reaching out to us?
I mean, I think we looked and felt like we were really happy with the quality of the product. And then when we started having the conversation, felt like we had really similar goals. We want to make sure we work with people where we all kind of have the same thing in mind and the same fan experience in mind. And I felt like as we started talking, that became really clear.
Well, I appreciate that. And I felt the same way because for us, there was no way that I was going to do a, D&D purpose table without having the right partner, the experts, and actually doing the right product. So once we started talking, my brain really started going, you know what, this could really be something cool. And I think what you talked about was really kind of the challenge of the project. How do you make it like where it's not overbearing and it's not like gaudy, but you got the little secret Easter eggs in there. So, as I'm kind of thinking through what were from the D&D side, what were some of the must-haves or some of the elements that you guys wanted to see in the product?
We always want to put our fan experience first and make sure that this is something where you could kind of have as much adventure and as much fandom as you wanted and really express yourself, but also be able to tuck it away and have a nice dinner and use the table however you wanted, and really kind of get to choose what you were doing. Like everything for our game, whether it's building a character, building an adventure, being a DM, the table, any of our products, we want to make sure that there's an element of customization and that it feels true and authentic to the D&D brand. And I think we worked really well together to make that happen.
I think one of the cool things about the table, at least I love about it, is not only are you choosing the finish of the table, but you have scenescapes from within the D&D universe that you can choose and personalize the look and feel, and then we can upholster that in a gallery quality surface so really there are so many combinations of what a table could look like. That's really cool.
Yeah, between the upholstery that goes on the DM Stronghold to the table itself to even the dice trays, I feel like there are so many options you can have to pull in some of our newest, beautiful artwork from our most recent books and really make it your own in every way possible.
And during the convention this weekend, when we were showing this to the passerbys and they understood that there's so many options, their eyes just really lit up like, oh, okay, now you can see the gears turning, right? So during the production, I know for me, we took a little bit of time trying to figure out what the DM Stronghold, the dice tower component was gonna look like, and then really spending a lot of time on say the filigree and where the logo position so it's not overwhelming. Was there anything that stood out to you in the development process that you remember that was something noteworthy?
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun to get to talk about the behind the scenes stuff because I don't think fans realize everything that goes into a collaboration like this. We really thought through every detail. Our product development specialist, Chris Jennerjohn, worked with your team and really thought about every logo, every little design, to the custom filigree that you guys created, the artwork selections, just the way everything fit together, what options. And I think we definitely kind of tried different things and really figured out what worked. And it's been a fun process of sort of really thinking through all those details.
Shout out to Jennerjohn.
Yes,
I mean, there's so many SKUs on this line. It was yes. I'm sure he's what did I get myself into? There's so many SKUs, so many details that had to get nailed for this particular project.
Yeah, and that makes it, a lot of effort going into a collaboration like this, but it also makes for such a cool result when you, especially this is my first time at Gen Con, being able to touch the table and see it in real life and actually moving all of the different components around and seeing all the different configurations that you can have. We were imagining it and seeing it on a computer, but to see it real, it's very exciting.
It's super different. So that, and to be honest, I was nervous coming into Gen Con because all the feedback has been sort of internal and it's all been positive, and I'm I just don't know. You never know with a consumer product until the doors open and everybody experiences and touches it. But after getting the initial feedback, I feel a lot better. And now I trust what the internal feedback previously was.
That's one of my favorite things about coming to shows like this is you can kind of stand back and watch people have a really organic reaction, and you can see how they touch it, how they interact with things, how they wanted to move things around and get the real impression, and it was really fun to watch them come by.
So now that brings us to present day. So you saw it for the first time a couple days ago, and what was your reaction when you actually saw it live?
I was really excited. You know, it's always hard to imagine what something's going to be like, you know, abstractly over calls and just seeing things on a computer. And we'd seen videos that you'd sent us and images of it, and it looked beautiful, but you never know how something's really going to look in person, and I was thrilled. Like the finish, I think one of the things I was most impressed by was rolling dice on the upholstered artwork.
That feels nice, right?
It's very nice. You know, it's not a play mat, it's actual upholstery, and it feels really nice when you touch it, and everything's real smooth.
Yeah.
I also like getting to work with you and play with the map element, where you can change that center design to have a grid or a map, and really getting to see what that felt like when you're leaning over the table like you're playing. So that was very fun because, you know, just wanted to make sure it worked, and it did.
Well, that's well, we have to make sure that it works. Yes. And one of the cool things I think for future looking is this table, there's so many elements that can be added to, like the different art and the fact that it has magnetic rails. We can continue developing accessories as the players ask for them. So this is kind of like a product line. At the beginning, we thought, how do we make this evergreen and have the right platform to continue building on? And I think we might be pretty close there.
Now, what's really fun getting to actually sit down at the table is I felt like there was this moment where I went from doing my job to being a player, and you know, because that's the ways the back and forth for me is I do this professionally, and then I also, it's my hobby. Right. And so I felt like the moment I sit down, I just forgot that I was here for work, and I'm just like ready to start a campaign.
I love it. And maybe one last question is, what do you see the future? Because now we've basically birthed a table. What is the future of what this could be?
Well, I think the way the table is set up, there's just so many possibilities for future customization, you know, future artwork, future like little new things to add and play with. It's set up to grow. And that's what's really exciting about how modular this is, because it's kind of endless possibility.
I completely agree. Kara, thank you so much for taking the time today to just sit down and just have a little walk down memory lane, right? It's been 2 years of the making, we're finally here.
No, it definitely feels like kind of the epic end of a campaign and the start of the next adventure for us together, because we have been working on this for a long time, and seeing it in real life is very exciting. I can't wait for people to have it in their homes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Kara.
Thank you so much.